You don't think of what you've kind of gone through or what your experience has been growing up in an area like this or with people around you. So it's like it makes you realise like how much everything's changed in my own life. Like the people that I grew up with, the people I'm with now, who my friends were then, who my friends are now. A lot of my friends that I was friends with like in primary, secondary school, I'm not really in touch with them that much. And it's not so much because of that I don't like them, it's so much because the cultural differences. So like they go out, you know, party or meet up with friends, and I'm like, I'm not really into that. So you know, kind of stopped speaking to them. But then because they don't really understand my culture, they don't really understand what my like beliefs are. That's why I kind of stopped like speaking to them as much. Whereas I have other friends who are also like, I have friends that are English, Black, Arab, but they've had an interest in learning my culture and my beliefs. Whereas I'm closer with them than those who haven't really bothered. Do you see what I mean? Like there's some friends that they just saw me as anyone, but they've not really bothered learning about what my beliefs are or why I don't want to go out with them for a drink or why I don't want to go to certain places, whereas other people have made that effort of understanding why I don't do certain things. And those are the people that I've like built a long-term friendship with, whereas those people I went to primary school or secondary school with, they weren't that interested, or they just didn't know. That's it, they just didn't know, but for asking they just make assumptions. So makes you think a lot. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing, because I think it takes a lot to be brave enough to share your story. Because I think, especially you're having to be vulnerable for someone to look so within yourself. Because I think a lot of the time there could be things within ourselves that we haven't tapped into in a long time. And I think it brings back a lot of memories. Sometimes memories that have been forgotten or maybe suppressed, as a way of dealing with what's happened, you know, and what you've experienced. But I think what you're doing is phenomenal, because you have a lot of wisdom and you have a lot of strength and courage and bravery. And I think what you're doing is phenomenal, because it takes a lot of bravery and courage for anybody to be vulnerable enough to share their story.
Like I said, wisdom and experience it's not from age, it's from what you've lived through. That's what it's from.
Wow. And would you have any closing words? Any wisdom? Any more wisdom?
Any more wise words?
Any more wise words?
No, I think I've got everything. I just not to use age as in what? I don't know.
As a determinant, as a definitive.
So that person's older, they'll know more, but that's not necessarily true. Or they've lived through more. Still, again, not necessarily true. You could be younger but live more. You could be 30 and live more than a 60-year-old live through more. So that 60-year-old might have lived on the same road for the whole life, engaged with the same community for the whole life, whereas that 30-year-old probably travelled all around, engaged with more communities. You know, technically they've lived through more in a shorter space of time.
This is true. Thank you.